Hey you, come, gather around the campfire, and welcome to the party. This is Party Chat, a JRPG podcast where we talk about everything that we love in the world of JRPGs and other Eastern titles. I am one of your hosts, Cameron Hawkins, and with me today is a special guest, Lucas. Lucas, how you doing?
I'm exhausted. How are you?
I am also exhausted. I flew a red eye last night or overnight, and I have not slept really in a real way in over 24 hours, so I am exhausted. But we are here at PAX East, and you and I got to go hands-on with Shadow Labyrinth, the Pac-Man metroidvania, that Bandai Namco is currently working on. And I kind of wanted to gauge your thoughts. This is our first time that we got to go hands-on with this game, and I think it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, this was one where I was interested in it from the moment they showed it off, but they've been really weird about kind of how they maybe a little unsure about how they were going to present it. So I was like, this looks cool, but I'm not sure. And then after playing it, I'm just I'm so on board.
Yeah, this is I think what was really cool about this game was that it was based off of, or the secret level episode of Pac-Man was based off of this, but this was also announced after the secret level episode, so we didn't know that this was actually based off of a game that was in the works. And I was talking with one of the reps with Bandai, and they were explaining how initially they were working on something else for the Pac-Man episode, and then they were like, hey, we're making this. Do you want to do this instead?
Oh, that's cool.
And that's how that whole episode came about. And in my opinion, secret level as a show, your results may vary, but I thought that the Pac-Man episode was far and away the best episode of that show because it was just something very unexpected on a IP that is Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. And so Shadow Labyrinth is a metroidvania. It has a bunch of different abilities that we got to play as. We had a grappling hook, and there are different things that you can latch onto, whether it be ceilings, walls, or these kind of orbs that existed around the map.
Or the railing from a Pac-Man maze.
And railing where you got to certain environments where you turn into Pac-Man and you just keep going around and keep interacting with different enemies and stuff. But it was cool. The movement in that game felt really good. I think that when you're in the Pac-Man mode, there are kind of these challenges that I ran into where you kind of have to jump from rail to rail, so you don't get to revert back to your normal self. And that was a little bit finicky at times, but they implemented this aim mechanic where it'll show you where you will fly, because it's really fast.
Yeah.
And it's really momentum based.
It reminded me of, I can't remember specifically, one of the Mega Man levels where you're controlling gravity up and down, Mega Man 3 or 4 or something like that, but you're jumping instead of controlling the gravity, but you're still doing the same, there's an enemy here, and you're just sending him up and down, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, and
it's still Metroid based, but it did also kind of give you this kind of 2D Souls-like-esque vibe where you get these upgrades by completing these challenges. You got health tanks, I think is what it's called, where it shows how many times you can heal per checkpoint of sorts, right? You have these checkpoints where you can enhance your attack power and, assuming down the line, other abilities. And then one of the things that's cool, which they don't really tease in the secret level episode, is that you have this kind of ultimate form, this weapon form called Gaia.
Yeah.
Where you're just this giant monster, and
Pac-Man turns into a big robot.
Yeah, and then you can fight enemies, or you can fight bosses. There's one boss fight in the demo that we played, and when you beat the boss, you get to take the boss's power, and you get to use it in your Gaia form, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, you have a stamina meter. To your point, Souls, so you've got your dodge roll, you can parry or block, you can swap between the two, which is nice. And then for that, when you're using the enemy's abilities, you have like a giant laser that uses the same meter. There's like another special attack that uses that meter, and then if you use it too much, it'll overheat. So it's kind of got like some extra management to it, like kind of beyond what Souls usually does.
Yeah, you basically get this laser beam that allows you to blow past certain environments that you couldn't normally access to be able to continue throughout the game. But yeah, I'm really happy with this game. I'm pretty surprised. One of the things also that's worth mentioning is that this game has shout-outs, callbacks to older Bandai Namco IPs. Like when you get to the second kind of biome in this
part was
game,
so good.
there are enemies that are basically from Dig Dug.
They're like Dig Dug, but through like the Ramones album cover art where everyone looks like melting zombie people.
Yeah, they're these weird kind of like, they're not like ghost enemies, but that's kind of like the vibe that they give, right? Where they have their normal forms and then they turn into just these faces.
Yeah, it's like how it works in the original Dig Dug. They like go through walls and you see their faces and then they pop out and then they can like hit you because they like materialize kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and instead of being able to hit them with your sword, you have to use your grapple hook type thing, and then you have to mash the grapple button to be able to kill them. You kind of like inflate them,
Yep.
and then they explode.
Yep, just like in Dig Dug. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool. And again, the PR rep from Bandai said there's more secrets like this throughout the game, and this was like, from what they said, the section that we played was near the end of the game. Like it wasn't like the early hours. It was more in the back half of the game. And they said that it's a pretty substantial game. It says around 30 hours, which is really cool. So I'm excited for this game a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out in July, and so we'll see what happens. Do you have any final thoughts on Shadow Labyrinth?
Yeah, just that it was definitely more than I thought it was going to be. And one thing in particular we talked about when I was speaking with the rep was Yars Rising, which was another like classic Metroidvania title that came out recently that kind of combined an old game with Metroidvania style and had lots of like interesting references and stuff. And he was like, when we found out about that game, we were so mad. And by the end of the demo, I could see why. And I think that's going to be something that puts this game like above what it looks like, at a first look.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as Shadow Labyrinth releases July 18th on basically everything, right? Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam.
And Switch 2.
And the Switch 2. And the Switch 2. Thank you, Lucas, for sharing your thoughts of Shadow Labyrinth with me.
No problem.
And until next time, we will catch you later.